Hello friends, good morning. In my previous lecture, I had explained single stage impulse generator. I had explained the principle, different circuits and important equations. In this video lecture, I will explain multi-stage impulse generator. So let us start with the discussion. What are the drawbacks of single stage impulse generator? For higher impulse voltage requirements, a single stage circuit has following drawbacks. Number one, the rating of the components become very large. We are using different components like resistors and capacitors in the wave shaping network as well as for charging and discharging operation. So these are the components and the ratings of the components become very large. It is difficult to get the components of such high ratings, and if they are available, they are very costly. So it becomes costly affair. Number two, the physical size of the circuit elements become very large, because if larger the voltage rating, size will be bulky, and this will increase the physical size of the impulse generator. Number three, high DC charging voltage is required, because if suppose we are making single stage impulse generator of 1000 kV, then we require the charging unit which is capable of providing 1000 kV. Number four, suppression of corona discharges from the structure and leads during the discharging period is difficult because voltage is very high. Fifth, switching off spark gaps with very high voltage is difficult. See, first we have to charge the capacitor, and then by triggering the spark gap, we have to discharge this capacitor into the wave shaping network. So if voltage level is very high, it becomes difficult to trigger the spark gap. Therefore, for voltage ratings higher than 200 kV, multi-stage impulse generator is used. So if it is requirement of 200 kV and more, up to 200 kV, single stage impulse generator may be useful, but after that we require multi-stage impulse generator. Nowadays, for laboratory purpose also, if requirement is 150 kV or 200 kV, we are going for the multi-stage impulse generator. Now let us see what is the principle of multi-stage impulse generator. Number of capacitors are charged in parallel and then discharged in series across the wave shaping network. The voltage appearing across the test object has impulse nature as per the specifications Vp, T1 and T2. So here we are having number of capacitors which are charged in parallel. In single stage it is single capacitor, in multi-stage it will be number of capacitors, and they all are charged in parallel and then they are discharged in series across the wave shaping network. And we are adjusting the DC charging voltage and parameters of the wave shaping network in such a way that impulse voltage appears across the test object as per the specifications. Vp is the peak value, T1 is the rise time, according to Indian standard it is 1.2 microseconds, and T2 is tail time. As per Indian standards it is 50 microseconds. Multi-stage impulse generator has marked circuit or modified marked circuit consisting of following components. So circuit operates according to marked circuit or modified marked circuit, and both the circuits have common components. First is DC charging unit, second is charging resistor, third is charging capacitor, fourth is spark gap, fifth is triggering arrangement, sixth is wave shaping network, and seventh is measuring and recording arrangement. Now let us see the circuit. First, this one is marked circuit and lower one is modified marked circuit. See, the circuit consists of the components shown in the previous slide. So there are 7 components. I will explain them here. So this is DC charging unit. This is DC charging unit. RS is charging capacitors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now number of stages can be determined by number of spark gaps. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4-stage impulse generator operating on marked circuit principle. and 1, 2, 3. This is three-stage impulse generator operating on modified Marsh circuit principle. So first component is DC charging unit. This is DC charging unit. Second is charging resistor RS. This is charging resistor for modified circuit. Then there is charging capacitor C. These are charging capacitors, and these are charging capacitors for modified circuit. Then third is fourth component is spark gap. The spark gap is shown by G. This is the spark gap. This is the spark gap for modified circuit. Fifth component is triggering arrangement. Triggering arrangement is separate and that is not shown in both of the circuits. That is required to trigger the first spark gap. Next component is wave shaping network. This wave shaping network consists of resistors R1, R2, capacitors C, because when these capacitors are discharged in series, they also become part of the circuit. So components of the wave shaping network are R1, R2, this C operating in series, and then capacitance of this test object which we normally denote by C2. So this is the Marsh circuit. In Marsh circuit, these wave shaping network resistors are outside this entire network. Now if we look at modified Marsh circuit, these wave shaping network resistors R1 dash, R2 dash, they become part of the circuit, means they are internal to the main circuit. Here wave shaping network also consists of R1, R2 dash, all C's operating in series, and then capacitance of the test object, that is C2, and its resistance R1 dash. So these are the components of circuit of the for multi-stage impulse generator. Now let us see details of all these components. Components of multi-stage impulse generator. First is DC charging unit. The charging unit consists of a high voltage transformer, rectifier and filter, so that we can generate the DC voltage of desired magnitude. It is capable of giving a variable DC voltage of either polarity to charge the generator capacitors to the required value. So we require DC charging voltage of either polarity because we may require to test the object by positive polarity impulse as well as negative polarity impulse. So DC charging unit must be capable of giving the desired output DC voltage of desired polarity. Second is charging resistor RS. Generator capacitors are charged through these resistors. When generator capacitors are discharged, charging resistors should not become part of the discharge circuit. Hence their value is selected accordingly. Now if you remember the circuit, there are three resistors R1, R2 and RS, that is charging resistor. So this charging resistor should not become the part of the discharge circuit. Therefore their value is selected accordingly so that they do not become the part of the discharge circuit. These are non-inductive high value resistors of about 10 to 100 kilo ohms. Each resistor is designed to have a maximum voltage between 50 and 100 kV. Third component is charging capacitor C. The capacitors are designed for several charging and discharging operations. They are charged in parallel and discharged in series. The charging time of the capacitor T is Rs into C. It is in the range of 10 seconds, whereas discharge time is very small. On dead short circuit, the capacitors must be capable of giving 10 kiloamperes of current. So these are the specifications these are the details of charging capacitors. Next component is spark gap. The spark gaps consist of spheres or hemispheres of 10 to 25 centimeter diameter. Why spheres or hemispheres? Because in case of spheres or hemispheres, voltage distribution, that is electric field, is uniform. So we want to maintain the uniformity of the electric field, therefore we use either spherical or hemispherical electrodes as spark gap arrangement. These are arranged vertically one over the other with all the spark gaps aligned. Alignment is necessary so that there will be uniform breakdown of the voltage for all the spark gaps. Next is triggering arrangement. This consists of trigger spark gaps to cause spark breakdown of the gaps so that capacitors are discharged in series. About this triggering arrangement I will discuss afterwards in detail. But first, only one important thing is we have to trigger the first spark gap, so we require separate triggering arrangement. I will discuss this afterwards. Next is wave shaping network. It consists of resistors, that is R1, R2, and capacitors, that is C1 and C2. Resistors are non-inductive wound type and are capable of discharging impulse current of 1000 ampere or more. Each resistor is designed for a maximum voltage of 50 to 100 kV. The load capacitor may be of compressed gas or oil filled with a capacitance of 1 to 10 microfarad. Modified Marsh circuit has wave shaping resistors included internally with a flexibility to add additional resistors outside when the generator capacitance is changed. So I have shown already this, that for modified Marsh circuit, R1 and R2 they are connected internally, whereas in Marsh circuit the wave shaping resistors are inside. I'm sorry, this is outside. In Marsh circuit the wave shaping resistors are outside. Please make this change. It is outside. The last component is measuring and recording arrangement. Now, as impulse voltage is a single shot voltage, its recording is necessary. If we are not recording, then it will come and go, because the wave shape duration is 1.2 by 50 microseconds. 1.2 microsecond is the rise time, 50 microsecond is the tail time. So this waveform is appearing for few microseconds only. Therefore, its recording is necessary. Also, it is necessary to note down the point of flashover or breakdown on the wave. Now, what is this? When we are testing any object, there is possibility that flashover or breakdown of the test object takes place. So during testing, if flashover or breakdown of the test object takes place, then it is important to note down that breakdown or flashover point. It can be on the rising portion, it can be at the peak value, or it can be on the decaying time. So in order to know exact flashover or breakdown time on the wave, it is necessary to record the wave. Voltage dividers are either damped capacitor or resistor type with digital storage oscilloscope are used for measuring and recording. We require low voltage for the DSO, therefore we have to use the potential dividers. So it can be of resistor type or it can be of capacitor type, and then we require digital storage oscilloscope for recording the waveform. Now let us see what are the ratings of multi-stage impulse generator. Number one is number of stages, that is given by N. Number two, DC charging voltage, that is VCH. Number three, energy. Here it is not given in the power, it is given in terms of energy. Rating is in terms of energy. W is given by half C1 N into V charging square, where C1 is equal to C by N. Now C is the magnitude of the charging capacitors. Let us say it is in microfarad. So all these capacitors are charged in parallel but discharged in series. So when they are discharging, we have to take the effective capacitance in series. Therefore, if C is the magnitude, N is number of stages, then C by N will be the effective series combination, series capacitance, that is given by C1. And efficiency of this impulse generator is given by Vp, that is peak value of the impulse voltage waveform divided by N into charging voltage. So if charging voltage is 100 kV and 10 is number of stages, then this will be 1000 kV. Now let us see how we operate this multi-stage impulse generator. Let us consider Marsh circuit. So R1, R2, this is wave shaping network resistors. Here it is test object. These are charging resistors, charging unit. C is the capacitors. G is spark gap. So first step is parameters of the wave shaping network are adjusted according to the rise time, T1 and tail time requirements. In my previous lecture, I had given you the expressions for T1 and T2 in terms of R1, R2, C2 and C1. C1 is effective series, a combination of all these. So here there are 4 stages. So C1 will be C divided by 4. That will be C1. C2 is the capacitance of this test object or load capacitance, R1, R2. So we compute. First we decide T1 and T2. So if we consider Indian standard, it is 1.2 microfarads and it is 50 microfarads. So that if requirement is 1.2 by 50 microsecond waveform, then we have to adjust the parameters R1, R2, C1 accordingly. Second, DC charging voltage is adjusted according to the polarity and amplitude requirement. Suppose we have to test the object for, let us say, 1000 kV peak value. So assuming 100% efficiency, it is 4 stage. So charging voltage should be 1000 divided by 4, that is 250 kV. If we want to generate positive polarity, then accordingly we have to adjust this. If we want to generate a negative polarity impulse, then accordingly we have to adjust the polarity of this DC charging voltage. Gap spacing is adjusted such that spark over does not occur during charging. Now this is very important. Now these are spherical electrodes. So for spherical electrode under uniform, they generate uniform electric field, and medium between these two is air. So for air, the dielectric strength is 30 kV per centimeter. So if we adjust the gap to 1 centimeter, then as soon as the voltage between these two electrodes become 30 kV, it will spark over. Now suppose we are generating, let us say, 400 kV impulse, 400 kV impulse. So 400 kV by 4 across each capacitor, the voltage, charging voltage will be 100 kV. So if it is 100 kV appearing between this gap, then 100 divided by 30 kV for 1 centimeter, so 100 divided by 30, so it is 3.33 centimeter. So this gap spacing should be more than 3.33 centimeter. If it is less than 3.33 centimeter, then as soon as this voltage becomes 100 kV, this gap will spark over and will not get the desired voltage across this test object. So accordingly we have to adjust the gap. Next is, all the capacitors are charged with DC charging unit. Fifth, by applying the trigger, all the capacitors are discharged in series. The wave shape of the desired amplitude rise time, tail time appears across the test object, and this waveform is recorded by the DSO. So this is how we operate the multi-stage impulse generator. Now I have uploaded with 2 videos on impulse generator, that is experiments on impulse generator. First experiment is impulse voltage generator working and waveform recording. So in this I have explained all the components of the impulse generator, its working, and how we record the impulse voltage waveform. This is the link for this experiment. In the second experiment, it is impulse voltage testing of pin type insulator. I have explained how the pin type insulator is tested by impulse voltage. This is the link for this experiment. We can go through these experiments to have better idea or practical about the multi-stage impulse generator. Now this is the figure for the practical impulse generator. You can see here there are 4 stages, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the impulse generator in the test laboratory. You can see the size. This type of structure is provided at the top, that is at the output terminal, in order to avoid the corona. This is the amplified view of this, magnified view of this same impulse generator. This is DC charging unit. You can see the number of stages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It is 12 stage impulse generator. This is also one of the impulse generators. This is DC charging unit, and this is the potential divider used for measuring the impulse voltage waveform. This is also the impulse generator. This may be the DC charging unit, and these are the potential. This may be the potential divider. This is again impulse generator, outdoor type. These are the wave shaping network capacitors. This is also impulse generator installed for the outdoor operation. Friends, if you feel this video lecture useful, then please like it, subscribe to my channel, ask your friends, colleagues and your juniors to subscribe to my channel for upcoming video lectures on high voltage engineering and power system protection. If you want to make efficient and effective use of time, then read my book on time management. This is the link for the book. This is also given in the description box. I have launched a useful course for the students on Udemy. Title of the course is Exploratory of Learning by Power of Visualization. This is a course to increase your brain power and program the mind for success. This is the link for the book. Link is also given in the description box. This course is very useful for the students who are preparing for competitive and entrance exams. Thank you.